Tesuichi at the desk with the Saturday Sovereigns, as we are in the year 2067, Canada's bicentennial, and GMing and managing the Regina Sovereigns. If you haven't seen the CBC, the Canadian Baseball Confederation, it's a future mod that I made, fully fictional as far as I'm aware. Okay, with some influences from the real world, but not in the way you expect. And you can download it on the Out of the Park forums. Quick Start and League template. Right here. I really got to get Stream Elements to have a shortcut for that. So this is running alongside MLB. See here who's in the hunt for the playoff spots. Hang on a second, just double checking. Customize playoffs. Yeah, okay, there is one wild card. Just making sure. So, looks like Colonels and Shipwrights currently in playoff positions out in the Atlantic Division. The Hot Rods leading the Metro. The Central goes to the Doctors at the moment. The Prairies, the Greats are in the lead, and the Kelowna Grizzlies a commanding lead in the Pacific. Good to see some Canadian talent doing well. Lou Pinault for the Colonels. In his debut season, looks like he's leading the batting title race. And Bob Wallace of New Hyde Park, New York. Not a good fielder, but an amazing batsman. 18 home runs. Tied with Manny Serrano of the Victoria Yellow Jackets. Thankfully, we're not doing as bad as the Wings and the Daredevils. The Daredevils who have lost 8 in a row. Barons have lost 7. Then we go take a look at the majors, where we are now at 36 teams. Sox, Twins, Angels, the Vegas Athletics. And you see the expansion clubs. The Memphis Rapids, the Portland Warriors, the Austin Flyers, the Oklahoma City Continentals, the Columbus Wanderers, and the El Paso Desperados. The Nashville Stars are a relocated Toronto Blue Jays. So there's no Blue Jays in the majors. MLB is strictly in the US. A power-hitting catcher from Japan. Very interesting. I'm also curious how the WBC has been going. So, the US won it in 2026, the Dominican Republic in 2030, Venezuela, US, Dominican, US, Dominican, Japan again in 2062, and then Cuba in 2066. Canada actually had 2 division wins, or 2 pool wins, but just could not do well in the championship. That is almost all fictional dudes except for Kate Smith. Alright, I'm curious. 2034... the US beat Canada in the quarters. Canada beat Italy in the quarters, but then lost to the US in the semis. Yeah, basically getting stuck with the US is the problem here. I did some rejig of the lineup. We'll see how this one goes. As we welcome the Winnipeg Mosquitoes to Curry Field. I hope Cardinal fan is here because it's lineup intro time. Oh, wow. The Blue Jays are pounding on the Angels 10-0. That's a good game. I know you are. Please enjoy. It's time for Sovereigns Baseball! Batting first from Groningen, Netherlands, Pim van der Nol. Batting second from Kromstrijen, Netherlands, Mark Donker. Batting third from New York City, Jalen Craig. Batting fourth from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, Miguel Vasquez. Batting fifth from Citrus Park, Arizona, Arlis Ben-Isaac. Batting sixth from Vaughan, Ontario, Foster Hoffman. Batting seventh from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, Hector Flores. Batting eighth from Beaverton, Oregon, Jay Caminero. Batting ninth from Delta, British Columbia, Will Sutherland. And tonight's starting pitcher from Montreal, Quebec, Brad Haley. Crowd is a little quiet today here at Curry Field. This is, of course, a mod made by Nielsen CP. Half the stadiums are his, half the stadiums are from Flying Canuck. And a leadoff single by Perkis. Winston Perkis, oh, love the mustache, from Kingston, Ontario. Dynamo leadoff man for the Skeets. Let's bump the game crowd volume up just a little bit. There we go. Brad Haley can't hold a batter to save his life. Little dribbler back to the mound. Haley will fire to second for the lead batter. Impressive. Jeremy Beers. Popped up to right field. Hoffman makes the grab, 2 down. Ismael Chavarria. Another fly ball to Hoffman. Just the leadoff single. Haley gets out of it. Dan Bushong from Attleboro, Massachusetts. Formerly of the Memphis Memphis Rapids. It's been doing pretty well for the Skeetos. Only 8 walks in 65 2/3 innings pitched. And Van der Nol goes down swinging. Mark Donker, the DH. Strikeout victim as well. Bouchong bringing the heat here. Full count on the way to Craig. And that's walk number 9 on the season. Impressive work there by Craig to work it on a full count. Vasquez up the middle, hard hit. That's rolling all the way to the outfield. Perkis will collect it. Craig will hold at second. That'll bring up Ben-Isaac, batting .308 in 4 for 13 to start his season. Chopper to second. An easy play by Bustilos. Nelson Hernandez, the left fielder now. Haley, arguably one of the most valuable players on this team, as both a Canadian and a good pitcher. Here's Bustillos now, the second baseman. Strikeout victim, Haley airs it out. First K of the game. Good play by Flores. That'll end the top of the second. Basically, my thinking is, as the league evolves, we're going to increase the number of Canadian players that are required from the current 30% of a roster. So this stops being like a make-work project for out-of-shape Dominicanos. Not having a domestic league for them means that they, those who bomb out of the majors will end up here. We are much more lenient in terms of foreign player content than, say, the KBO. And we pay better than Honkball Hoofdklasse. At least I think we do. Here's Dan Pearson, the catcher. Called strike 3. Fastball at 93. Brad Haley showing his stuff. Fly ball to deep center. Caminero tracking it. It was sunny and nice here in Toronto, and now it looks like it's going to be pouring. I got a doubleheader for softball tomorrow. I hope the field dries out. Delta BC's own Will Sutherland will ground out. Back to Vonderdahl. Chopper to second, Bustillos. Makes the easy play. Donker, 2-2 count. Bouncer to Bustillos. Donker with 9 home runs leads the Sovereigns in that category. So far, we got ourselves a bit of a pitcher's duel. Vanderdahl flips to Haley, covering first. 3-1 putout. Chavarria will work the walk. First one issued by Haley. Bouncer to third. Vasquez. Clean throw to first. Greg pops us up very high. Easy play for Vargas. Full count pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Bouchon with his first strikeout in a while. 4 now on the night. And he'll strike out Ben Isak as well. Left field has proven to be something of an issue for this club. Oh, one bunted. That's in no man's land. Good fielding by Vasquez to get the runner. With a lot of lefties coming up, we're going to get Bradley Gibson loose. Lazy pop-up and an easy play by Jalen Craig. Dan Pearson, 0-2. Chopper to second. Gobbled by Sutherland. 5 shutout innings by Brad Haley. Bouchon, 6 Ks. That's 3 in a row now. Another high pop-up. And here's Caminero. Full count on the way from Bouchon. Strikeout victim. Haley's day is done after only 79 pitches and 5 innings of work. Bradley Gibson into the game now to deal with a string of lefties coming up. Lined right to Flores. That's an amazing catch there by the shortstop. Or at least I thought it was. Definitely starting to smell like rain. I may need to take a short break to close that balcony door. I'll be right back. And Peters attempts a sacrifice bunt. This one's picked up by Gibson. 2 down, runner at second for Chavarria. Belted on 3-1. Caminero barely has to budge. Billy Armstrong getting loose in the Regina bullpen. Bouchon still pitching strong here. 8 strikeouts through 5 1/3. Vandernoel forces a play out of third. Lucia making it look easy. Donker belted deep center field. Off the wall. The first extra base hit by either team. It's a 2-out double by Mark Donker. Misses the home run by inches. Okay, I almost read that as Donker has donked 11 doubles this season. Craig sends this to left center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Donker will round third and try to score. The throw home is over the head of Dan Pearson, the catcher. A throwing error by the left fielder Hernandez gives the Sovereigns a 1-0 lead. Bring the chaos energy. Bouchon now with a walk. Here's Ben Isak. 0 for 2. Line to right field, high and deep, and that one is gone! Arlis Ben Isak with his first home run of the season. The Sovereigns finally break out. Welcome in, readers, for Max LP. This is Tesuiji at the desk with the Saturday Sovereigns, taking place in my fictional Canadian universe in the year 2067. In case you missed it, we just had this happen. Arlis Ben Isak going over the green monster in right. Lovely drone footage there. Dan Bouchon was wheeling and dealing and couldn't keep Ben Isak in the park. All that run scoring with just 2 out. Gibson now in line for the win. He'll induce a grounder to Sutherland. Easy play over to Vandernoel. For the first out here in the top of the 7th. Billy Armstrong into the game. Fastball slider, 19 years old, out of Chantilly, Virginia. Maybe a short hook here. Ryan Murphy right behind him in the pen. Yeah, 425 down the line. Diosville Vargas, 1-2 on the way. Called strike 3. First K of the season for Billy. Billy the Kid, as it were. 0-2 on the way to Lucia. Swing and a miss. Fantastic effort there by Billy Armstrong. 19 years old and playing in the Canadian majors. Hector Flores now getting a look at Jeff Lombardi from Varennes, Quebec. 4-pitch mix. Oh no, he's got a knuckler? Wow. Oh, I want to get this pitcher. Something fierce. An 80 grade knuckler. Perkis makes an easy grab there. Cabanero now, the 0-2. For those of you who aren't familiar with this league, I started it a few weeks ago. There is a foreign player limit. You know, have you heard of Canadian content rules that say that 30% of a radio station or television station's content needs to be Canadian produced or with actors or filmed here? Well, same concept here in the CBC. Of the 30-man roster, 9 players have to be Canadian. Ryan Murphy into the game now. Another youngster on the up and up. Well, possibly 25 years old and he still hasn't fully developed. This is the kind of dumpster diving we have to do when you are in the CBC and you have no budget. Chopper to Flores, easy play there. Here's Bill Birch. And Jimmy Olsen. Let's go with Gary Johnson. Johnson! Not a safe situation yet. Oh, Pim Vandernal high and deep to right. I haven't gotten together home run horns for the other ballparks yet, but I had to get one for our home ballpark because that is a royal salute that I found on a video involving King Charles III. Donker works the walk. Jalen Craig, 1-0 on the way. Nobody out here in the top or bottom of the 8th. Line drive screamer into center field. Donker going to go first to third on it. Gets in just ahead of the throw from Perkis. Vasquez bouncer to third. Sacrifice hit. The 6th run will score. Here's Ben Isak. Floated the other way. That's going to carry into the corner. That's a fair ball. Ben Isak having himself a day here. An RBI double. That makes it 4 RBI for the youngster from Arizona. I think he's played. He should be. Oh, yeah, he did play in the WBC for Israel. Good for him. Called strike 3. The knuckler fooling Foster Hoffman. Flores, drill to center field, playable for Perkis. That'll end the bottom of the 8th. Sovereigns add on 3 more. Sam Denis into the game. Gary Johnson out of the bullpen now to bring this one in for a smooth landing. Fly ball to center. Caminero barely budgets, and he drops it! It was over his head! Are we going to see that one again? Yes, we're going to see that one again. I got it. I got it. I know that feel, bro. Nice play by Sutherland to get the first out here in the top of the ninth. Hernandez, line to short. Flores is there. I made sure to get a good defensive shortstop for exactly this purpose. Fielding run value, 99th percentile. Yeah, you think. Just casually putting up an 8 zone rating in 38 starts. Full count on the way to Bustillos. Swing and a miss! The Sovereigns take this game 7-0. That might be enough to get us out of the basement here in the Prairie Division. Ben Isak pitched well, or played well. Brad Haley wins player of the game. Oh, and it's now 14-1 Blue Jays. Wow. So get settled in. We're going to be playing more. Ooh, we're off to Ottawa next? Ooh, we got to play that one. Trading deadline is in a little bit. I'm not sure if anyone's even going to be available. Given it's a first season, anything can happen. So we're heading east for a bit of a road swing. We're playing Oshawa and Mississauga. Now let's play this one against the Hot Rods. Ooh, this looks like it could be a dangerous one on paper. Welcome to Kinsman Memorial. This is another one of Nielsen CP's ballparks. Flying Canuck has not made a ballpark like this. Not with this size. Do like the uniforms, though. Alright, we're gonna until wrist bit. Ooh, okay. Runners at the corners, 2 down for Flores. Hard hit. Died at second, and it squirts through. Gould can't make the play. Sovereigns with a 1-run lead. Here's Kim Yi-hyun. Check swing, strike 3. Sovereigns get aboard. We've got Marcello Van Eck. And that devastating curveball of his. The victim of bad luck in his last few starts. Counterpoint, Don McCarthy from Quebec City. Man, everyone else has better Canadian players than I do. Gary Chambers works the walk. Bases loaded, nobody out here. For Kevin Rosenthal, the second baseman. He'll go down swinging. Vasquez. Fly ball to right. Deep right. Might be deep enough. Van der Nol will tag and score. 2-0 Regina. Popped up. Curving foul. Grabbed by Calderon, the catcher. McCarthy struggling a little bit here today. Van der Nol, hard hit to short. Easy play there for Day. Donnie Day from Cabano, Quebec. That is a perfect name. Oh, he's a former major leaguer too. Wow. WBC participant. This guy's cool. played with the Rockies. Bounced around between Colorado, Guardians, and Twins. Now he's plying his trade here in the CBC. Poor guy. That could be two. Nicely turned. Legro to Gould on to first. Vasquez, RBI chance, runner at third. Popped up. Into right field. Sanchez makes the grab. Van Eck finally gets into a bit of trouble. Braden Clow, the designated hitter. 2-0 on the way. Driven to center. Caminero was playing back. He'll collect it, but the Hot Rods will pick up a run. That'll bring up Ken Gould. Sharply hit to second. Easy play for Rosenthal. Van Eck with 6 strikeouts. He's pitched well. Righty, righty, lefty. Let's go with Jimmy Olsen, a.k.a. Superman's best friend. Craig works the walk, and once again, the bases are loaded. Tim Turley into the game, who committed the walk, will face Gary Chambers, now flipping around to bat from the left side. Another pop-up to right. And another sacrifice fly restores the 2-run advantage for Regina. Sovereigns lead 3-1. Rosenthal. Full count pitch. Grounded to short. And Day will start the double play. Van Eck will give way to Jimmy Olsen. Gives us a clean inning to work. Let's go with Gary J for the 7th. Hector Flores on a pitch well outside, hits it into center field. That will score a run. It's an RBI single for Hector Flores. Kim swings and misses for another time. Gary Johnson getting into a little bit of trouble. That's popped up foul. Vandernoel charging makes the play. Tom Bennerman slugging first baseman. Hard hit right to second base. Easy play there for Rosenthal, who is injured and out of the game. Vince Pfannenstiel will take over at second. Brett Thomas's first look this stream session. You can tell why I sought him out. I mean, at 29 years old, he's probably not going to develop further than this, but what we got's pretty good. And we'll get Glisson up for the save. From Rancho Cucamonga in California. 8 saves so far on the season. He'll face the bottom of this lineup. Flared past Pfannenstiel and into right field. Leadoff man is aboard. Here's Ken Gould. Full count all the way from Glisson. Fastball down the pipe, and he misses. Jonathan Manning. Dangerous left-handed batter. 1-2 on the way from Glisson. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2-2 on Legro. Strikes out the side to strand the single. Dave Glisson. Impressive work. We'll play the finale of this 2-game set. All these series are 2 games long, by the way. In Mississauga, up against the Hurricanes. Right, Vandernal's affected by throwing. Yeah, we're not going to give him much opportunities to throw. Stan Daig will be batting. Hey, you know what? Let's put Donker at first. Let's give Pim the day off. Wow, we do not have any good options. So, Vandernal's just going to DH. To Meadowvale Sports Park we go. Another one by Nielsen CP. As bad as we are, at least we're not the Hurricanes. 15-40. Second and third with 1 out. Infield is in against Bernie Salazar here. Deep to right field, picked up by Hoffman. But Ares will tag and score, and the Hurricanes have a 1-0 lead. Manny Lorena. Easy play there by Chambers. I guess we're giving Sutherland the day off. I just realized that a white panel cap with a white logo like the Hurricanes have is a bit of an odd look, but we'll make it work. Miguel Vasquez singles in a run, even though Foster Hoffman was a dingus and got thrown out at third. And Verdugo picks off Vasquez. Nice work there, guys. Backup catcher Stan Daig works a full count 2-out walk. Here's Pim DHing today, and he's down on strikes. Brian Hewitt, bouncer to Flores. Vandernal, or Donker makes an easy play. Jeff Zink, the catcher. And Chambers will end the scoring threat in the bottom of the 5th. Haley's going to give us 6 innings of work. Pretty impressive. All of our good pitchers are tired, so let's go with Billy the Kid. How about some run support? Nope. Jay, you gonna do something? Nope. Daig? Stan? Alright, Stan works the walk to load the bases. Here's Pim. Little looper to right. That's going to get caught. Armstrong pitches a clean inning. All right, let's go with Gary J then. Oh, dear. That's the kind of reliever you find, Mississauga? Otis Bolduc from Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia. Sounds like an Acadian name there, hey? Salvador Ramirez in to deal with Daig. He's going to get pinch hit for with Dave Pickerill. Not like it mattered. Pim Vandernal to third. Why didn't you go for the force? Pickerill will take over behind the plate. Johnson going for a second inning of work. Winning run now standing at second. Here's Trujillo. Slow roller. Good play by Flores. Will we see extras baseball? It'll be up to Dan Wood. Grounded up the middle. Chambers sends us to extras. All right, we got 2 innings out of him. Let's go to Olsen. Vasquez popped very up. Ben Isak watches a pitch sail past the catcher's ink. Go ahead run, standing at third now. Called strike 3. Bottom of the 10th. Jimmy Olsen. Flores off and running. A stolen base. With 1 out. Runners at the corners now for Pickerill. And he's going to line it to left field. The Sovereigns will take the lead. Pickerill with a double. And now Vandernal has 2 aboard. Infield drawn in. Another line drive to left. That's going to sit at the base of the wall. And Vandernal has a double. Here in the 11th. Go with Gibson. Let's go with Alfonso. Give him a chance. Donker with a mighty uppercut swing. Today's broadcast is powered by Blanche du Chambly, the finest beer in all of Quebec. Not SpawnCon, just what I'm sipping. This one's getting out of hand for the Hurricanes. Miguel Vasquez inside outs this one to the right field corner. Is it a bat around 11th? I think it might be. Ben Isak sends this one to left center field. That's off the Sportsnet sign. The bullpen has successfully imploded here. Chambers checks in with his first hit of the day. Salvador Ramirez is not getting any help. He's at 49 pitches and has given up 7 earned runs in this inning. Finally, the third out is recorded. Luis Alfonso gives up a 2-run shot to Victor Maraz. Full count on the way. Fly ball to center. Caminero makes the grab for the second out. Kenny Medema, the shortstop, popped up. Sailing to third, Vasquez will make the grab. Sovereigns win this one 8-3. I think they just burned through their bullpen too quickly. Salvador Ramirez threw 56 pitches in 2 2/3 innings of work. Take a look at that 11th again. So that is strikeout, single, single, double, double, out, single, single, double, single, single. Poor guy. Yeah, 9 hits. Bat around 9th or 11th inning. Back home against the Musketeers. Billy Cravens is healthy again. So the question is, who goes down? I think Ben Isak has pretty much convinced me to stay. Can't send down Penn Stuckey because he's Canadian. I think it's going to be Kim. We've got growth prospects down in the reserve roster, but nobody who I'd really want to have as a full-time option. Alright, let's figure this out. So with Billy Cravens back, I think Hoffman is going to be the one who we stop playing, and then Ben Isak is going to be our starter, with Hoffman as then a defensive replacement with that cannon arm of his. Ben Isak, Craig, Vandernal, Vasquez, Cravens, Donker. Yeah, Sutherland has turned into a pumpkin, unfortunately, so I'm okay with going with Gary Chambers at second base. Even though he is from Saskatoon, Patui. And then let's flip Ben Isak and Foster. Saints coming to town for a 2-gamer. Gleason out for year. Oh no. There goes our closer. Since he is a foreign player, we can call up a foreigner from down here. We don't have enough money to go out and sign someone. We are just under. Hang on a second. How much capacity does my ballpark have? Only 3,500. Okay, that is correct. Do we go with Willie G or do we go with a batter? Well, Brett Thomas is now our closer. This is fun. We've already seen Winnipeg. Cairnsfield in Saskatoon. This is one of Flying Canucks stadiums. So this is actually what Cairnsfield in Saskatoon looks like. Unlike Nielsen CP's, Flying Canuck does take care to ensure accuracy to the way things are right now. As you can imagine, the two teams in Saskatchewan, the Rebels and the Sovereigns, have some serious heat going on. Conant getting in trouble early. Oh dear. Okay, maybe we are this bad. Still nobody out here bottom of the first. And that will allow both runs to score. Oh, just one. Alejandro Ulloa. I mean, I'm happy to let you pitch, but you gotta, like, pitch better. That'll back up Billy Cravens. And it's 3-0 here in the bottom of the first. You know, I don't think we need to see any more of this. Yeah, we got shut out on 2 hits. Winner, Gagnon! Freddie Gagnon pitches a 2-hitter complete game shutout on 113 pitches. Good Toronto kid there, hey. So the most valuable player we had is now injured. Hamilton's looking to make a deal. I mean, Bill Larson is a Canadian, but I don't think he's offering that much. Manny Rojas' question is, will he actually develop? we want Bob Andrew or do we want Bill Larson? I think Bill Larson. Let's see, who else do we want to move? Kim Yi-hyun. Alright, I'll take a close enough. Adding Chamberlain will help, even though he gives up 4 home runs per 9. Oh boy. Never mind that. I'd much rather have a Mark Marie. We'll give up Dave Pickerill to get it done. Did I accidentally get rid of one of our team captains? Yeah, I did. Oops. Either way, this does mean that we have a little bit of breathing room in our pitching staff, and we can send Alfonso down to the reserve roster. With Mark Marie coming up, we now have more than the expected number of Canadians, so Bates can move to the bullpen. Kim Yi-hyun now heads to Hamilton to try and reset his luck. Noah Moore of the Saints picking up a 3 home run day. Oof. I mean, we do have Willie G, Billy Armstrong. Yeah, Billy is probably the pitcher who we could send to the reserve roster and get some help. We'll just go a man short in the bullpen. Let's put Victor G on the trading block. I feel like he could get some interest. Van X turned it around pretty well. Welcome to the team, Mark Marie. It's one of the bright spots. I bet you Jalen Craig could also move and receive some plaudits. Speaking of Victor G, let's watch one of his starts at Remax Field in Edmonton up against the Greats. This is one of Flying Canucks. He did a fantastic job of rendering Remax Field up against the Prairie Division leading Edmonton Greats. And Foster Hoffman with a leadoff single. Hoffman with an easy swipe. Craig on an infield fly. Ay, ay, ay. Easy play by Joe Gemma. Gotta love your minus 90 exit velo. Minus 55 launch angle. Doesn't get more straight down than that. Backhouse sends this to left. In view of the bullpens, Cravens makes the grab for the second out. Here's Lamahoff. Bounce at a second. Good play there by Chambers. And Cravens is hurt. Ben Isak into the game. Uh-oh. Victor G running into some speed bumps. Fielder's choice. Florins to Chambers. Joe Gemma to left. Ben Isak's throw is cut off. Greats take a 1-0 lead. Minton skies this to center or to second. Easy grab there by Chambers. And after a furious rainstorm here in Toronto, the sun has decided to poke its head back out again. Hector Flores scores. Jalen Craig auditioning for a winner here. As Hillier sails one past the catcher. Van der Knoll, fly ball to right. That's going to clank off the wall. Sovereigns will take the lead. Pim! And an error by the third baseman, Middleton. Or a slip. Egalia Tribe, thank you for the follow. Ben Isak. Bounce it to first, going to be a close play. Svech throws an error. And Hillier is stuck again. Biff Gimbal, thank you for the follow. Awesome username. That one just could not hang up long enough. Lamehoff misjudged it. Runners at the corners with nobody out for Flores. Aims to bunt. That's going to draw the corners in. Bases loaded, nobody out. Hoffman. Strikeout victim here of Hillier. Here's Craig. Also a strikeout victim. Are we going to Noble Tiger our way out of this bases loaded situation? No. An RBI walk makes it a 3-run lead. How is Victor G looking? Okay, he's still going to pitch. Well, 3 strikeouts, but Hillier does allow another run. Nieves able to pounce on this one so the runners don't go. Hillier loads the bases again. Caminero, it's never straight up and down. Infield fly is called and Hillier makes the grab. Flores to right center field and carrying, that's off the wall. That could clear him. Hector Flores with a double. Chambers, Donker, and Ben Isak all score, and it's all Sovereigns. And I'll let that one play out. From Victor G to Willie G to Ron Herbert. Loss in 12 innings. A bases loaded walk against Gibson. Bradley not exactly doing himself any favors. And he's a jerk, so I don't know if I actually want to keep the guy. All right, let's start the deadline day. Got some offers on Victor G. Okay. Kyle Ivey, Ricardo Saldana, Nick Landis, Josh Wyman, Bob LaRue. Ooh. Or is this my owner doing stuff? I think that may be the case. Clear some of these trade offers. At least now there are players on the trade deadline, on the trading block. Some of the foreign players, Linares and Verdugo from the Hurricanes, Josh Wilson of the Maroons, David Totone of the Rebels, Curveball, Forkball, Cutter, Brian Tuff. Yeah, nothing's really standing out. We're gonna shop around, eat money. All right, that looks a little better. Because at age 34, I don't get the sense Victor G is going to be as good next year. Actually, let's not save any money and see. Hamilton again, okay. I think I got our new closer. Okay, hold on. We have to admire the amazing name we have discovered from the same game that brought you Bobby Boogard and Donkey Kong, or Donkey Hong, and Alpha McNichols. Say hello to Gianluca Roberto Ettore Kashmir. That's amazing. All three of those are his first names. Yeah, I just traded away both our captains, I know. But now we have an honest-to-God closer in Roger Monroe. And now we can trade away Bradley Gibson for being a jerk. Yeah, let's send him to the Hurricanes. There. We may have traded away a closer, but we also traded away an absolute jerk-off. Now the question is, do we have anyone else who can start? Right, Bates. Yeah, so we'll put Bates back in the rotation. And with Bolduc getting a clean start, we'll put him in the bullpen. Now the question is, do we keep Craig or not? Because, I mean, catcher frame and catcher arm, he is pretty good. If we shop him around, who would we even get for him? Oh, it's Hamilton again. Never mind. All right. Craig, you're off the hook then. Everyone else is shopping pitchers, except for Josh Wilson of the Maroons. Now, Tatone, Adelman. We really did miss out by not going after a big pitching arm. So we did get the inaugural trade in league history. 2 of them. Excuse me. Yeah, very happy to get Roger Monroe. Fastball splitter combo. Love it. So we do have a bunch of selfish guys, but I bet you we could probably work around them. Someone on our leaderboard is going to take over as captain. Off to Victoria with the new bunch. Yellow Jackets versus Sovereigns. At another actual Flying Canuck ballpark, Royal Athletic Park in Victoria, BC. The provincial capital. And yes, I did give them yellow and black tequila sunrise jerseys. It's my mod, I'll do what I want. A doink single for Will Sutherland. Get a good nice close-up of the uniforms there. Tough play. Nice sacrifice hit there by Caminero. It's at this point that I'm like, okay, I want to fast forward to the off-season and actually do more with this club. On the track, which isn't a track at all, Nice look at the Sovereigns uniforms there. Runners at the corners. Jeff Johnson. High drive to deep left, and that one is gone. Jeff Johnson, his 10th home run of the season. Raj continues to have just terrible luck. Needless to say, he will not be getting an invite back to join the Sovereigns next season. Yeah, I think I'm good. Ooh! 13-6. The guns came out. Conant, Willie G blew up. Billy Craven's got a Grand Slam, though. I do want to see the new guy, Mark Marie. Now he plays at Nat Bailey Stadium, another actual ballpark, home of the Vancouver Canadians of Single A in real life. In beautiful Vancouver. The Vancouver Suns are, of course, based on the famous Vancouver Asahi Ball Club. I played in the minors or the independent leagues, made up entirely of Issei and Nisei Japanese players, as the name implies. And even in the internment camps during World War II, they continued to play baseball. If I'm not mistaken, there's still... I have to double check if he's still alive, but there was one player from the Asahi still kicking around. Yeah, Kei Kamanishi did pass away at the age of 102 in 2024, the last surviving member of the Vancouver Asahi. Maybe I should rename the ballpark after him. Efrain Paredes, 2-2 on the way from Marie. Strands the bases loaded. High pitch on Jake Nelson. Obkibangma from Rotterdam. I love how there's now baseball interchange between Canada and the Netherlands. That could be two. What a round the horn double play. Vasquez to Chambers on to Vandernal. Cardinal and Marie going pitch for pitch here. Marie dancing between the raindrops. Bangma to left. Hangs up long enough. Oh no, it's over the head of Ben Isak. Or Cravens rather. He biffs the play. An unearned error. And a wild pitch will allow another run to score. Just terrible timing here on the part of Marie. Two unearned runs. And the Asahi take the 2-0 lead. Marie's day is done. Gary Johnson in. Don Tremblett has first and second aboard. Ryan Murphy getting loose in the Sovereign's bullpen. Bases loaded, one out. Will Sutherland. And he works the RBI walk. A checked swing. Opkibangma can't pull it off. Howell Kirkpatrick now. Up against Arlis Ben Isak. Ben Isak high and deep to right field. Caught. That should tie the game. Gary Chambers will come in and score. That'll bring up Craig. Full count. Or 3-0. Kirkpatrick issues a walk. Van der Nol. Hard hit to second. And with that, the top of the seventh is over. 2 runs without a hit. Ryan Murphy into the game now, up against Paul Klingensmith. Chopper to third. Sacrifice hit. Jake Nelson. Lined up the middle for a base hit. The Suns will retake the lead. Bit of a brainless move there by Sutherland. Should have just stood there and absorbed the tag. Murphy has thrown 8 pitches and has gotten himself into trouble with all 8 of them. And booted by Sutherland. And I'll bring up Ron Herbert. Yep. Well, we tied it at least. Got a big homestand coming up. Take a look at the standings. Hot Rod's still leading the Metropolitan. Colonels and Shipwrights will probably meet in the wild card round. Doctors leading the Hammers, but the Hammers have at least, improved with the addition of Victor G. In his first start against the Voyageur, 15 ground balls over 7 innings of work. They go to Jeremy Liston as their closer. Daredevils have lost 10 in a row. Where is their pitching? Oh my goodness, no wonder. Kai Hines has thrown 90-something innings. Oh my goodness, we gotta fix this. Alright, we just need to make a bunch of Canadians. And then kick them over to... Position, reliever, player type, indie, nationality, Canadian, player quality, scrub. You can't fill fictional spots on roster. I mean, there's also the fictional player or the domestic player limit. But we should be able to generate, like, the rest of a bullpen here. No wonder the team stinks. Let's at least give them a bunch of plugs to help finish their bullpen. I should actually do a quick check around to make sure that I'm not missing anyone else. I'm gonna shortlist Al Kavanaugh. I'll come back to you. Ditto Henry Penny. Oh, that poor closer. No wonder his arm is falling off. There. Let's see if anyone else is short pitchers. Alright, the Barons are, but they're at least managing. They're actually second in their division. Greats look like they're in great shape, although the Mosquitoes still haven't given up on chasing them down. Shipwrights are getting by with a 5-man pen. Hammers have plenty. Grizzlies have a fine 5-man pen. I think it really was just Niagara that was the issue. There they go. Look at them. They have hope now. As opposed to an bullpen ERA of 12. Oh, my lord. No wonder things went off the rails. They had 2 injuries, and that just scuppered them. The Hurricanes are also short on pitchers. That also that explains why Salvador Ramirez was just getting absolutely rimrocked. All right, so we'll give him Bill Kuhn. And Doyle Rayner. Not in as bad shape. Asian Spy Candy, thank you for the follow. It's very much, these teams actually failed to build a team. What's my excuse? Alright, now we can get through the last homestand of this save session. Give up 12 to Winnipeg. Great. All right, Ben Esok's ratings got worse. Larson's ratings got worse. Should probably actually put him in the lineup at some point. Tom Bates with a movement up. Okay. How's Gibson doing for the Hurricane? Oh, he tore his rotator cuff. That's another reason why the Hurricanes have been in such rough shape. Made one start, or one appearance for the Hurricanes against the Maroons and blew out his rotator cuff. Oof, ouchie, my bones. So at least we have more Canadians on the team. I think we can safely send Penn Stuckey down. Oh, I am still on that mode. So let's call up Pablo Garza as a backup catcher. And with only 2 players batting above 100 OPS plus in Craig and Van der Nol. Yeah, that explains a lot, doesn't it? Explains a lot. He's Miggy Vasquez is right there. He's going to be fun to keep around at third base. We'll let the bench coach take a couple games with that roster. And Haley's hurt. All-star teams are announced. Did we get anyone nominated? Wow, William Grantham for Calgary as the starter. Dave Glisson, although he's injured. Come back soon, Davey. Elbow ligament reconstruction surgery. The problem is, that's $380,000 I'm spending on a guy who can't pitch right now, so it'll be 2027 before we have him again. He is literally the only representative we have. The only all-star we have is injured and will not play. What a ripoff! Haley out with an undisclosed injury. Oh, Haley had a hamstring strain, so he's out for 2 to 3 months. And Brett Thomas, undisclosed injury, setting off fireworks in his backyard. You moron. Well, we have money. How's Monroe done since coming over? A win, a loss, and a blown save. Great work. We could move Herbert into the rotation. It's not going to be Willie G, that much I know. These pitchers want to give me the time of day. I will take any starter. who I can convince to come here. Do we trust Juan Achivis? Trust him more than Andy Beer. Hooray for prorated contracts. Welcome Kim Young-myung. Perfect. We had a long enough break. We got Juan Achivis in the minor league system. And we can give Kim the start. Send Juan Achivis down. Give him a chance to develop. Can't believe I'm saying this, but let's go with Billy Armstrong. No, we do need a long relief man, so... Alfonso? We are a little short on pitching, but we also... There we go. Have money, we'll spend. "36-year-old from Lansing, Michigan. Coming over from Kinheim in Honkball-Hofit-Klasse. Cultural exchange. How nice. Trying to figure out when our first game of the season actually was. Ah, right, because we had a rain out. So the season started first weekend in May, which means it'll run until October. So we probably still have another save session after this. Off to Stade Canac in Quebec City. Another one of Flying Canucks works. Mark Schneider and the Voyageurs hosting the Sovereigns. I am doing a lot of road games because I want to show off the work that these modders do. It is really incredible. If you want to download this mod, all you got to do is go to this link. Conrad Rockburn biffs the first ball he sees. Hoffman with another stolen base. Flores squares to bunt. Back towards the pitcher. They go for the lead runner and they get him. Wow. Mark Schneider. Bob Andrew works the walk, newly coming over from Hamilton. Born in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Kim Young-myung. Fly ball to the left. Nice play there by Andrew. You call it slop throwing, I call it he actually knows what he's doing on the mound. Bubba Basinger from Virginia Beach. You can tell who actually went out and spent money on batters. One error for each team. Lucas Soulier, the DH. Gobbled up by Craig. Inning over. Caminero with a sacrifice. Moves Cravens over to third. Here's Vasquez. Sent very deep to center field. And that one's into the batter's eye. Miguel Vasquez, 389 feet to dead away center. Whee! Hoffman now with a triple. Regina takes a 2-0 lead. And a solo shot by Bob Andrew makes it 3-0. Kim Young-myung says, I'm not ready to go just yet. Jake Summers getting loose in the bullpen. Long throw for Flores on the money. McGrath. 0-1. That'll back up Flores. Good scoop there by Vandernal. 7 shutout innings in his CBC debut for Kim Young-myung. Liner caught by Lorendro. Jake Summers immediately gets into trouble. Nice going. Chopper up the middle. I'll take that as a sacrifice. That brings up Basinger. On 3-1, he swings, and it goes foul. Craig will make the play. 1-2 to Soulier.
Strike 3.
Stranded him. Roger Monroe into the game, and he will seal the deal. A combined shutout of the Sovereigns. We're going to play this one in Ottawa just a little bit. I want to show you again the incredible work done by our modders. Needs more cameras, though. This is RCGT. Raymond Chabot Grant Thompson Park. Right next to the Via Rail station. Sorry, Raymond Chabot Grant Thornton. That's all. I just wanted to show you that. Yay, Conant finally picked up a win. Alright, let's do a home game. Ooh, against Hamilton. Okay, that'll be where we wrap up the stream session. Monroe has shoulder inflammation, so we'll go without a closer for a little bit. I could have just put him on the reserve roster, and then we would have had him back sooner. All right, had a bit of a losing streak. But we got Kim Young-myung on the bump against the Hamilton Hammers. Oh, we got to do the one against Victor Gonzalez. And with Brett Thomas healthy again, at least now we have a closer. Aw, they moved off it of Gonzalez. We lose 15-5. All right, we'll have Marcello Van Eck play the London Doctors when we rejoin this save. Greats look like they got the Prairies division locked up. Ditto for the Kelowna Grizzlies, although the Barons are making a push. Niagara has fared much better now that Kai Hines hasn't had to throw so many innings. Like, it was just bad. You can actually rest now. Hammers not in the wild card conversation. The Shipwrights have taken over the lead in the Atlantic. The Colonels now the wild card team. The Hot Rods just a couple games back of the Greats and Grizzlies for the best team in the CBC. Jim Sanford, 34 home runs. The big boy from Calgary. Look at the max EV, the home run per fly ball, the barrel rate. And at 6'4", yeah, he's a big Jim. You can be a big Jim too. All right, that's going to wrap up today's stream session. You'll see me next on Wednesday with the Saving Mike Trout save, the offseason, the draft, because I wasn't able to win the World Series. We got reverse swept in the ALCS by the Tigers. I thought winning a championship for Mike Trout was going to be easy. We'll finish up the 2067 CBC season next sim here on Saturdays. Time is precious, folks. I'm grateful you've chosen to spend some of yours with me today. I'll raid y'all over to the next player, or the next Out of the Park streamer up. I think the official Out of the Park dev channel is up and running. Yep, the PTCS finals are underway. He's only been 16 minutes, so there's drops aplenty coming. Stay tuned. We got more Out of the Park on the way here on Twitch. Take care, folks. Look after each other.